Oh,
Hey, man.
yeah. Because I just checked into the stream, just saw you like pointing at yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was because I saw myself over on the other side. All right, wait, hang on. Let me do a crop, and then we will crop in this side. Crop in this side. So how's your stream today, man?
Oh, it was rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those days where everything is good, but you keep dying.
Yeah.
And things keep going bad,
Mhm.
and you get bad RNG, and people start losing legs, and you start feeding people to animals, and animals roll to people, and a normal day. It's
Normal day. So hey, this for those of you who don't know, this is my buddy Evil Trick. He and I met at TwitchCon last September, pre-virus days, and he and I were good buddies. Basically, palled around all TwitchCon, and we said, hey man, we gotta hang out more. So I've been trying to get him on to Enough About You for a while and hang out with either me or Badger, or just come in and hang out. So it's finally good to see you.
And I've never been able to. I mean, there's always been things to do, or time zones, or just generally just being busy.
And today I am sorry, I completely screwed that up. I said, when you said 2100, I went, yep, 2100 UTC. We should wrap up. And I was ready, but we had another match, and anyway, it's still going.
Yeah, it's completely all right. I mean, I was actually just kind of showcasing your stream while you were doing that. So just talking about it with the stream, like, oh yeah, he's doing this match thing. I don't know what's going on, but it looks interesting.
Yeah. So first, I'll introduce myself to your stream, and I'll give you a little bit of background about what you just saw. So for your guys, that's a game called Factorio, and Factorio is a factory simulator. The storyline is basically you crash landed on a planet, and you have a 3D printer on your back. So you can handcraft machines and train up and explore resources and exploit and go run up a tech tree and launch a rocket to go home. So if you've ever seen the movie E.T., the extraterrestrial, and his adventures on Earth, you just phone home. You just want to call home and get off the planet. And so E.T., just like this guy has a problem. He just needs to call home. So the problem is that you quickly become the antagonist, because there is this world that you land on that is in harmony with its nature and its bugs. But in order to launch a rocket, you have to chop down trees, and your factory produces pollution, and the pollution causes the biters that come and get you. The pollution causes them to, number one, get angry. Number two, get more powerful. And so they absorb pollution and they hate it, but then it makes them super strong, and then they come kick the crap out of your factory. And so there's
you don't have to kill them anymore to get like stronger, right? Like you don't need them for technology. You used to, right?
You used to, yeah. In the early days, you had to go kill some of their nests and get their little orbs or their seeds, and then you could get off the planet. Now that's been removed, so where there is a possibility to play a non-interventionist role and go all Greenpeace, and it'll take forever. But you can do it. You can do it without ever triggering a biter battle. So,
really,
yes, you can trigger it. So there has been there's within the little community. First thing I'll say about the community is, number one, the mod community is amazing. So many mods, so many great coders, very, very smart guys. And while the changes are rapid to this game, there's versions about every week or every other week that break mods. The mod makers are very diligent to go fix their mods, and go do things, go get their mod working. And the developers of the game have responded and pulled some ideas and some features from the mod community into the base game. So, great developer mod. There's nothing I would really change about the relationship between the devs and the mod. Number two, it's a good community, but they're fairly competitive. So speedrunning, same like just as you do in RimWorld, speedrunning is very competitive. But the great part about this is when someone produces a new meta or a new idea in a speedrunning and starts cutting off 10 minutes and out of time, like big chunks of time, there's not a lot of this autistic screeching. There is wow, what a great idea. Like, thank you very much for doing. Let's talk about this and let's share it, right? So number 3, because they're so competitive, the mod community has branched off into PvP with base game is not very good. But what we were doing just now is probably the premier way that we're doing PvP these days, which is you're in one world, but you each get a top half and a bottom half of the map. And you train up and tech up in your science, and your science can either run up your own tech tree to get more advanced, or 2, you can throw the science that you've made, instantly consume it, and make the other team's biters more angry and more buff. So the other team's biters will come attack them, right? So you can make it hard. You can either make it harder for the other team to fend off their biters, or you can go up your own tech tree. So that's the game, is that there's no direct PvP combat. You're not shooting each other. You're doing science, and you feed it to the other team's biters, so the other team's biters hates the other team more.
Makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
I didn't get it at all, because I was watching this river just in the middle.
Yes.
Everybody started on an island, and then suddenly you had your own base, and it's like, how do you kill each other?
Yes.
Exactly. Like,
So-
is it a speedrun thing? Or?
Yes, so it is. There's a speedrun incorporated, but there's defense and there's combat, and because the combat between the biters and the humans has been so well honed, we took advantage of that rather than trying to write person-to-person combat, because that's pretty weak when it comes to those sorts of things. So that's kind of the premier thing that we do with PvP now, and there's these biter battle bases that are up for all 24/7. And there is what we're in right now is a tournament. It's a 3-on-3 tournament, and there's 3 matches today. So I've been on air since about 9:30 this morning. So I started a little bit before you, and I'm going to go a little bit after you. And we're doing biter battles. I was doing biter battles all day. There's a tournament going on. So I've got all that up on my YouTube. If you want to check it out, there's a bracket. There's a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket, and there's like all of that business. And it's held by.
Do you have a link for that?
These guys named Comfy. Yeah, they don't really have a website anymore. They do it's in a Discord. And let me pull up my Comfy, their Discord link. I don't think I can get
that
it to
is
there.
so cool, though. Like, it's kind of like StarCraft, just with way more base building.
Yes, it is. Someone compared to StarCraft today. You can go there. You can say, go to Biter Battles. You can click on About, and then their link is in there. The guy that website is defunct from last season, to where last season's tournament. And I haven't really been keeping up with, but all the links are still there, and they run the server and all of that business. Right now, the servers are all in Europe, and I'm trying to get a US-based server started, so that me and my crew can kind of explore biter battles a little bit better and have good pings and good times and all that business. So
it's way more serious than I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, it's
really
a deal.
really cool.
And what
Are
they
you part
do
of it
is
as well, or just casting it, or how does it work?
So you can enter a team of 3, and you'll be bracketed, and you can play. I didn't enter one this year, neither did JD. JD's in chat, but JD's another streamer now. What they do is they can't really let everybody get into the server and watch, because that'll take up server bandwidth and stream all of that business. So they let the streamers come in and broadcast the game. So that way, so that's why there's still some people on the island in the middle. Me and my buddy JD we did 2 matches this morning, and we had Rain 9441 was in there with me now because JD had to go, and now Rain's continuing on to do the last match, and it's pretty good. Some of the best players in Factorio on planet Earth are competing in these biter battle tournaments, so it's really good to watch. So great matches and great conversation about it and all that. Rain's been a good resource to think about some stuff. I don't know if you heard anything about JD, but it was really good. So we had a lot of good stuff from that, and I've been getting some YouTube followage from it. It's been good because I record them, and I do the intros live, and then I record it live, and then I do an outro live, but I usually don't start. And then I get off stream and I quickly edit it. Those are easy to edit because there's just a chop off the front and the back, and then you have mash it all together, render it, and throw it to YouTube. a lot of
I
other
use those
things.
a little bit as well.
Yeah, and I'll
just
do
like talk about something on the stream and just getting it through, explaining something, and then cut that out, get a start, get an outro, just put it out there.
But a lot of times I won't even cut any of that out. So, sometimes I will if there's some downtime or whatever. I'll go back and maybe chop out a few things. But otherwise, we'll just that's what we do is I just chop it out. But it's an easy edit for me, so I don't have to spend too much time. And I chop it all together, throw it on YouTube, get a thumbnail, put some metadata in the video, and then let it go. So
nice. I just searched you for YouTube. Like just battle battles, and the first 5 videos is you and JD.
Yep.
And one of your pictures is just you just saluting.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Let me see. Biter battles on YouTube.
Yeah. Like it's your Factorio PvP battle challenge. One Colonel Will versus Exterminator.
That one was
from
last season.
Well.
That was from last season when I had those. Yeah, that was April from 2019. So the ones where I'm wearing shades and holding the glasses up, those are recent though. Most of them are. So
I need to watch that.
Yeah, they're good. They're good if you have trouble going to sleep at night, you can put those on. I ain't proud. I'll take your clicks however I get them.
I mean, I'm doing that with StarCraft. Like StarCraft, whether it's a replay of a replay of a replay or if it's new anything, like that's just my jam. That's what I put on the side screen while I'm just checking mails.
Yes.
Getting ready to go to bed, or start the stream, or just literally anything. Just having it running on there is just nice content.
Yep.
Something is happening all the time. It's exciting.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to keep eyes on it the entire time. Just like enjoy it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
all right. Well, hey, how was so that's what I've been doing all day, and I would have been better if we could have done 1 or 2 matches yesterday, but for some reason they all had it on Sunday, and they had a wild idea today to do one at 1500 UTC, 1700 UTC, and 1900 UTC, which would have put me in great shape. Usually they're between 40 minutes to an hour, 15 or so. It's about an hour, which would have put me in great shape to be done at 2100 UTC, or maybe even an hour earlier, and then we could meet up and just go. And so that's why I said to you earlier, I said, hey, we're going to be done. We should be doing earlier than usual. Well, the problem was the first match went 3 hours and 10 minutes. And blew the whole timeline out of the water. And it was great. It was a nail biter all the way down to the edge. It was very, very close, and it was so good. And that kind of blew the schedule out of the water. The second match, then they said, well, all right, the second match, rather than start immediately, they said, okay, 45-minute break. And we went, no, we want to go right. Let's go right now. We're 2 hours behind. We should have been going an hour ago. And they said, no, we're going to attack another 45. So it's like, well, crap. So then the next match number 2 was very quick. It was 38 minutes. And then we started the next one just then. And I just said, all right, we got to be done. So Rain's going to get the last half of that one. And on one of them, JD there was another 3-hour match. And it was last Sunday, sure enough. And I did the first 90 minutes, and JD was late. JD showed up about 90 minutes in. And I said, okay, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you, for your YouTube, my first half if you'll record and cast the second half and give that one to me, so we both have a complete video between the two of us. And he says, deal. And so we did a Google Drive file swap, and I gave him my first half. So on his channel, it's me. I start off the video, and I go 90 minutes, and then he kicks in 90 minutes later and finishes off, and same with mine. So
nice.
Good.
It's a good way of doing it, though. Like, with tournaments like that, there's nothing you can't predict it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like any other tournament, whether it's a MOBA, FPS, or what it is. Like, you might have a schedule until you don't.
Right. Until you don't.
You can't fix that.
Right.
I mean, unless it's a speed run, that's pretty precise usually.
Right. Yeah. Usually speed runs, there is okay. If I'm not done if I haven't hit benchmark number 3 by X time, it's over, right? There's no way I'm going to do the rest of it, so I can kill it and start over, right? Or kill it and go home. Right?
Yeah.
So how have you been doing with speedruns? So tell me about that with RimWorld.
I currently have this thing going in chat with Tynan, the developer. They're kind of saying that he's nerfing the fun out of the game. Like he's not nerfing it, but he is. Every single abuse exploit thing I've been using in speedrunning has been nerfed to the ground.
Well,
every exploit I've found has just been and which is not, by the way, used by anything else in speedrunning, has been just nerfed or removed.
Right.
So it's in a special state with 1.1 right now. So we're getting it back together, but one of the main ways of running the one run we're doing is finding these subtech persona cores that will instantly finish your research, and that is kind of like what the run is about. Else it's just about finishing a spaceship and leaving the planet. Kind of like Factorio, but just with people. And the thing is, if we cannot get these items anymore, it kind of ruins the entire run. Because if you want to speedrun RimWorlds with building the ship, it will take at least 12 hours. And without using this trick, and it's just too long. Like
evil trick. So
it's an
evil trick. All right, so
I knew this was coming at some point.
So here is. So I'm looking at the RimWorld speedrun deal here. So let's go over. Can I do? This is build percent, naked brutality, and merciless. And evil trick is for version 1.0. Is at least world record holder. 2 hours and 37 minutes, and Gutter Life has to cut his time in half to catch you.
Yeah, we made some. When I started the first run, I was like, okay, I watched Gutter Life's run, and I was like, okay, this is good. I've played the game enough that I know how to save some time here and there and get the good seed. It is seeded, by the way, to a degree. RimWorld is very, very random, but I had some confidence in at least matching the time somewhat within a couple of tries. But very suddenly, we just figured out that, hey, you can do this. And once you start getting into it, you suddenly discover all these shortcuts. Like, hey, why do we do this? You don't need to do that in a speedrun. Like, that's a normal run type of thing.
Right.
You don't need to collect all these things. What if you cut out food entirely? What if your colonists don't need to sleep? What if you put them all on drugs the entire time?
Right.
Like, you can do so many things that you can just confuse the game with a little bit and just completely neglect all the story. RimWorld is about the story and people breaking down, and it's kind of like The Sims mixed with Dark Soul on cocaine or something else. It's a mix of everything, and before we knew it, we saved so much time. And fun fact, because of RNG, the last record I had was on 3 hours, and because we had incredible RNG, I'm never gonna get that RNG again. We cut it down by 23 minutes on the current record. Just raids going all right, getting instant headshots, not dying to one shot. Like, this run is also about not dying. If you lose a single person, you're out. You have to start over. And you have up to 6 people. And every single shot could technically one-shot you.
Wow.
And there's a lot of fighting. There's a whole lot of fighting.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. And that's kind of what has been happening in Factorio, where someone... that time may be done in Factorio, maybe not, but we had a couple guys come by, and one guy from Canada came in and said, all right, I'm going to just turn a bunch of stuff on its head, and ended up cutting a good 10 minutes off the world record off of a 2-hour run, which hadn't happened in several versions after a while. So it's been really, really good. And it's really good to see when someone goes, oh yeah, we're not going to do it that way anymore. We're going to cut off a ton of time and start asking those questions. Well, why do they even have to sleep? Why can't they just be on drugs all the time? And
why can't we just cut corners, or just the fresh eyes getting to see the same thing done in your own personal way? It's so amazing about speedrunning. I know Badger knows about that a lot, being the community manager for Terraria and all that.
100%.
But you can literally be certain that this is the strat. This is the optimum thing you can do. And a week later, it's
gone.
Gone. It's different. We don't do this anymore.
It's a complete waste of time. Right.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that what I started doing to that end. Here's another idea I started doing from Factorio is to try and bring new players in, because what I saw in the Factorio streamers was lots of advanced play, which is why they get a bunch of viewers. But most of the time, for a new player to come in, it's pretty intimidating to see the stuff that I was doing just now, all that biter chaos, or to see like my Ribbon World with just so advanced stuff, bots flying around, all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's a very tiny map, right? That's
yes, it's
like
a very
really
thin
long,
one.
where you have like a rail track in the top and the bottom.
Correct.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
really cool.
or you see all of the, or a speed run, and you're not necessarily able to catch what's happening in a lot of the times in a speed run because it's going so fast. There's a big barrier between that and new players, right? So what I started doing, I needed to figure out a way to bring new players in easier. I needed to also, I had on my list, I need to invest in YouTube a little more because YouTube has been gaining on Twitch and live stream every single year. And when it started, it was 20-1 Twitch to YouTube. Then it was for live streamings, and then it was 6-1 live streamers. Now it's 2-1 last year. So they're gaining. YouTube live streaming is big, right?
I remember we talked about this at TwitchCon as well.
We did.
I know it was getting bigger, and I know it was big, but the scale is like what you think it is times it times 2, and then times it to a couple of times more, and then it might be there.
It is the number one
crazy.
findability engine on planet Earth is YouTube, right? If you want to be found by someone, YouTube is the way to do it. So I needed to focus on YouTube more, and the third thing I needed to do was be on Reddit more, because Reddit is a batch of new players that have a ton of questions and a ton of cool things that they want to see, and it's a new audience. Reddit's a giant audience, right?
That's where I really grew. Like in the beginning, when I had my big burst of people was me not using Reddit at all. I've always been like, forums, Reddit, it's their own thing.
Yes.
You don't necessarily need it. And I posted one screenshot of a finished base I've made in RimWorld, and it got like thousands of upvotes. And suddenly I went like from my back then 30, 40 viewers to 120. And it was just like, and they just stayed.
Yeah.
Everybody liked it.
Yeah.
And I don't do that enough either. Like YouTube, Reddit, it's so easy. Like give a small guide, post a picture of your base, start a new technique and share it. Like it's so minor things, but the communities are huge.
Yeah, it is. So I'll probably do that. I'll probably do that today and post a picture of my. So for example, one that I would post up there would be 1,000. I launched 3,570 rockets all at once. And
what, how many?
Yeah, 3,570 rockets all at once. JD didn't launch near as many as that. So that would be something cool that would go up on Reddit and be like, hey, here's a picture of my stuff. So
3,500.
Yeah, all at once. It was great. It was the noise was amazing. The visual was so awesome. The server went to try and tally them all up and all that. It was great. So that's an example. So here's what I started doing on Friday night. So my need was new players plus YouTube plus Reddit, right? Those are my three needs. So I said, here's what we're gonna do. Here's my brain. We're gonna do new player night on every Friday. Okay. If you have a question, come talk to us, and we'll do some sort of simple concept, and we'll spend an hour, hour and a half, or send me your base, and we'll go in and base doctor it. Which that was the very first one. Someone sent me their base, and they said, hey. Come tell me about what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. Just kind of critique it for me, and we just had some fun with it, right? And so then what I do is, and every Friday they post developer notes, which is the Factorio Friday Facts, FFF, right? So what I do is I go live for new player night, and I hit record, and I look at the FFF for the first time live, and I comment on it, okay? And then that's a chunk. And then I go to Reddit. So this right here is the weekly question thread, and I go down and I just look at this says any questions you might have, and most of them are new players. And so while I'm live and I record for YouTube, I go down and I find fun questions. I have a base I put about 100 hours into. We launched 20 rockets, a couple big artillery trains, and then they ask their question and I answer it live. And then I go. This takes me a little bit more time to edit, and then I chop it all up and then I put it all out on YouTube. So I'm participating in Reddit. I'm bringing new players in, and I'm answering Reddit questions. And I went, and I throw it out on YouTube.
That's good.
And I've done all three of the things that I wanted to do. How do I bring all those things and do it all at once? Because I don't have time to do all three of those.
That's a really good way of doing things. Unfortunately, I don't think there's like threads like that on RimWorld, like asking for questions. It's way more creative, weird stuff.
Yeah.
But I have done something a little bit similar. But when I have to make the YouTube videos, I don't know. I think I'm just perfectionist it a little bit. Just having to wanting the video a specific way instead of just making it simple and explaining what I want to explain. And suddenly it's 25 minutes long, and then I'll cut it down. And then it takes me like 6 hours to make a video instead of just like clipping it out there.
Right.
Like that's very, very smart.
So if you have, so here's mine. I have a couple videos that are in the queue, but my Biter Battle stuff has taken kind of taken precedence over that. My YouTube output has been Biter Battles, but once Biter Battles is over, I have my YouTube time set aside. And what I found that is helpful is I don't write out a script on anything I do except for a specific section on YouTube, and I'll have an outline and a Google Doc on that monitor, and then I'll go through and I'll chop it down, and I have little outlines of the bullet points I want to hit, and I'll talk through it, and I'll make segments, and then I'd spend some time editing. But having the script there for the demo of the specific thing I want to see is super helpful for cutting it all down. So I did this. I had the exact same thought you did of I'm gonna start recording and I'm gonna show something specific, and then I get off into something dumb, and I'm too perfectionist or whatever. So I said, okay, that's too much time in a video. The video's too long. I got off on a track too much. So I'm going to, I actually gave an outline, section 1, section 2, section 3, and of the things I want to communicate in this video, A, B, and C. And I just stick to that, and I try and show it. And then from there, I start cutting. And I tell you, writing the script, taking the time to write the script, cut off hours of editing time on the back end.
Yeah. Just it being ready, and the segments, I have it the same way. I started doing the same way, but my list is still very long. With 1.1 and the new Rimwall stuff, I think I have 4 documents, and I've shortened one down from 6 pages in Word to like 1.5 now, and I'm still shaving off at it.
Good.
Because the more I play, the more I figure out, like, new players don't need to know this.
Right.
This is not neat to know, like, thing. Forget about it. Don't think about it. Just focus on this. This is important.
Focus and think about this is a concept that I could bottle up in one video, a 10-minute, 15-minute video, and condense and say, let's get that done out. And then the next video is chop out videos also instead of one videos and all that business. How you're doing the intros during airtime is also a shortcut. Yes, I do the airtime. So I probably said this exact same thing 6 times today. I'd hit the record button. I'd say, hey, man, thank you for being here. Hit that like, subscribe button if you like this sort of thing. If you have a question, leave a comment below. Make sure you ring that bell so you know when I have a video post. Today's match is between blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much for being here. You can come catch me, twitch.tv/ClownTown. Catch me 5-6 days a week. Let's get to the match. And then I hit the I hit the record. I hit the stop record, and I'm live when I do that. And then I hit the record button again. So I have an intro segment, an intro file, and then the big file for the match, and then a closure file. And then I can just drag, and trim the ends, and then I'm done, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Like, that way you get the intro and outro, like, in the game you're in, like, while you're doing it. It just feels more natural when it goes on to the clip and when it clips together.
Right.
Like, that's brilliant. I need to do that more.
Yeah, pro tip. And then, so when I'm done with the match, I'll hit the end button on the match when the match content is over, and then I'll hit the record button again and have a new file for the outro. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that. If you like that sort of thing, make sure you support the link. Like and subscribe. Comment down below, and I'll kind of repeat the same thing. Make sure come catch me twitch.tv/live. Thank you very much. We'll see you for the next Biter Battle. See you next time. And I do my hand like this. I don't know why I do my hand, but then I have file number. When I'm done, I have file number 1 that is 20 seconds, file number 2 that's an hour, and file number 3 that's 20 seconds, and I drag them in, and they sort in order, and I can just drag and edit and clip and drag and edit and clip and drag and edit and clip. And then in about 7 minutes worth of editing, I'm done. I hit the render button, and I go hit the restroom or whatever, or go eat, and I come back, and then I'm ready to upload to YouTube and do the metadata stuff. That's it.
It's just perfect. The ways I've been doing it so far has just been taking, like, the entire, if I know I've been talking about something specifically, I haven't pressed record because I forgot about it or something. And having to download the entire VOD of a stream, like 9 hours or something worth of stream. That alone, for Twitch to figure out, like, oh, you want to download this?
Nay.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, let's give it like a couple of hours, maybe 5 minutes, maybe a day. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then you got to process it and divide it and load it into your whatever program you're using, and it can take up to hours sometimes.
Right. So hey, I have some updates for you. So anyway, there's our YouTube stuff. So it's good to know that I wasn't the only one having those problems, having problems with that. So I'll tell you. So do you remember did you come with us on? I think it was the Saturday. There were 2 hours where Twitch staff was going to be in the partner lounge at TwitchCon. Did you come with us for Twitch? So remember the partner lounge was open the whole weekend, right?
Yeah, I think that wasn't that the thing where Badger had like a +1 or something. It was like that invitation thing.
No, it wasn't an invitation. It was just any partners can. It was Twitch in the partner lounge where you and I.
You could just walk around.
You just walk around.
I was there.
Okay,
I was
so
there.
Twitch staff showed up in the Twitch partner lounge, and they just said we're gonna have a bunch of staff there from 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday or something. If you want to talk to a staff member, we're just gonna have a lot of staff there in the partner lounge. So come say hi. So you bet your ass we were there, right?
Yeah.
So when we were looking around, we had much more questions than we had answers. We met Mike Minton, who was the king of all revenue generating things on Twitch. He was VP of whatever. He's a big decision maker. And then we had Kevin Lawler, who was the guy that got me the badge for PAX-East or PAX-East or PAX-West. PAX-East, I think, first. And I think I still have that badge. There's a 3-day. There's content creator. So there's the one for Boston PAX-East before. And I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, Kevin, you're the guy that I need to talk to. Remember," and this is September, right? I said, "Remember back in March on Twitter, I sent you a message asking for one of these and you got me a pass. Thank you very much. I remember that." And he goes, "Hey, man, thank you very much." And he says, "Hey, man, do I remember you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Yeah." Because afterwards, he said, "I probably got 60 people passes that wanted to go to Boston PAX-East. We had a big showing there." And he told me, he says, "I remember you because you were one of the only people that after PAX was over in March or April, you were the only person that sent me a thank you note."
Really? No one else?
And I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "You were the only one that followed up and said, 'Thanks for getting me that pass at PAX-East. I had a great time. Appreciate it so much.'" And I did. I sent him a follow-up. So we got home from PAX, and like the same day, I sent him a note. He wasn't at PAX-East. So then I see him in September, and he remembered who I am. And
if you're the only one who returns to him as well, and
he says, "I know you." He says, "I know you.
Get something.
You're awesome. Thank you very much." Yeah, I said, "Yeah, it was great." And I said, "Hey, I want you to meet somebody." I said, "Here's my friend William." And of course, William shows up, and he's a loud spaz. And I said, "Hey, here, yeah." I said, "Hey, here's my friend William. He's Video Game Badger on Twitch." And Badger comes up, and he says, and I said, "Badger, this is Kevin from Twitter." And he says, I know who this guy is. He got us the passes for PAX-East. I want to tell," and he looked him straight in the eye. He says, "Kevin, I want to tell you thank you so much for getting me that pass. The reason why I'm at TwitchCon is probably because you got us that pass for PAX-East. I appreciate it so much from the bottom of my heart. It set us off on a path, and you doing that simple thing for us made it made a huge difference in our life." And Kevin's like, "What are these guys? Who are these guys? These are the greatest guys ever." Just for saying thank you, right?
And he will remember you guys for that as well. You're just being genuine as well.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win-win in all cases.
Right. And I'll tell you this one. My guys have heard this before too. But the same way. Okay, so you know who Dr. Phil is, right?
I might have heard of him. Yes.
He's the guy that shows up on Oprah. He's a hillbilly who does self-help. Right?
It's yeah.
Right. So that's him. The reason why we know Dr. Phil's name is because he was on Oprah one day because he had a book. Oprah had a book club, right? And she has authors on, and they read the book and they talk about the book, right? She sends out a note she emails to her book club. They read the note and they have the author on and they talk about the book on the show. It's great. It's genius, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So that's her book club. Okay, and she has done this for she had book club for about 3 years or so, and she had Dr. Phil on. And so that means, and she does this about twice a month, anyway, 3 times a month, something like that. So she's probably had, at this point, she had 100 authors on. Well, Dr. Phil's book comes up. Oprah likes his book. And he comes on the show. He's great on the show. They have a great time. And Dr. Phil goes home. after the trip to Oprah's studio, and he writes a thank you note to Oprah and sends it to her. Okay? In mail, stamp and everything, sends it to her. Oprah gets it and immediately calls him up personally and calls Dr. Phil back. And he says, you know what? Of all the 100 authors I've had on my show, and by the way, when you get on Oprah's show, you're made. Bestseller list.
That's huge.
If you can get your product or your content or your face on the Oprah show, done. You can sell and do whatever. You're a made person. And she says, I've probably had 100 authors on my show and several books, some of them multiple times. And he says, Phil McGraw. He says, you're the only one who has ever written me a thank you note.
That gives kind of something to think about, like, especially something that big, that probably people are thankful for it, hopefully.
Yes.
Like getting on the show and whatnot, but
he says,
it
really?
It's weird to forget about the personal relationship between people still inviting someone on their show.
Right.
Like, Blake, thank you for letting me on here as
yes.
well.
Oh, man, it's great. So thank you for being here. So he says, no, you mean I'm the only one who's written a thank you note? She says, oh, no. No one has even sent me an email afterwards telling me thank you. Because you were the first one in like 2.5 years to tell me thank you for having them on the show. And by the way, getting made that is your dream as an author, is getting onto the Oprah show to pimp your book, right? Is to show off your book. And so
I didn't even know that Phil got that way.
That's how we know Dr. Phil's name, is because his first big break was on the Oprah show. He goes on, he gets his own show. And does this thing, right? It's awesome, right? So he ends up. So Dr. Phil, and we can pull up a picture of Dr. Phil.
I had a friend back in high school. He was into Dr. Phil books. Like everything he put out was just. Have you read? No, I haven't read. So I've know a bit of Dr. Phil.
Yeah. And I need you to stop what you're doing and change your behavior. That would be a pretty good Dr. Phil. There you go. That's it.
Oh, isn't that also where the Cash You Outside girl thing?
Yes.
Isn't she from
That was
Dr.
on
Phil?
Dr. Phil's show.
Yeah. Yeah.
He becomes a repeat guest on Oprah. He becomes a repeat guest on Oprah and eventually gets his own show. That's how it's made. Boom. So back to Kevin and I. I'm the only person to follow up with him and tell him thank you. And then the first thing out of Badger's mouth, to his credit, is, my goodness. So I'm so thankful for getting me that pass. Now, Badger didn't follow up with him like I did, but I said, here's my business partner, Badger. And Badger says, Kevin, thank you so much. You've sent us something. And this Kevin's just blown away. So now he and I exchange notes about once every other week or so. Make sure he's doing good because he's outside. He's looking into jiu-jitsu, doing all some sort of athletic stuff. Super fun, right?
Cool.
I got this relationship.
That's amazing.
That's great.
Oh.
Twitch staff. So, Twitch staff. I'll share with you something at PAX-East that I've been wanting to break down. But I found the guy at Twitch who owns squad streaming. It's his team that does squad streaming. That's it. He's responsible for making its success or failure and all the features and all of that business. Squad streaming.
Interesting. Did you give him some good ideas?
We talked for probably 3 hours. I don't know if he wanted to get rid of me or what, but it was me and Jazzy ended up at this. So there was an official Twitch partner party at PAX-East, and that was Friday, and that was a bunch of booze and all this. And I met one of the partner managers there. And he and I didn't get to hook up. He says, "Hey man, sorry I didn't get to hook up with you. Meet me for lunch tomorrow. What are you doing for lunch tomorrow?" And I said, "I'm doing whatever it is you want me to do because you're the partner. You know, you manage the partner managers, right, for North America, right?" And he says, "Come to lunch with me. I'll message you on Twitter tomorrow." I said, "Do it. We'll be there." So somewhere around noon, I message him and I say, "Hey, I'm headed to the convention unless and to do a little networking unless you got any other plans." He says, "Lunch is off. I slept in, but come to a gathering. It's going to be me and some Twitch staff, partners only, very small, limited gathering. Come to a gathering at this place this time, some copper brew house or something. I said, okay. So Badger's already at the convention doing his live streaming thing. So I grabbed Jazzy. Jazzy and I go to this Twitch partner deal, and I meet him, and he, Norm, and we talk for a minute, and then he says, get yourself some food. So I went up there some food, and right as I turned to the counter, I mean, by the way, Badger and I had time to unpack this story, but there was the servers put it was 1.5 meters long by a 0.5 meter wide and about this deep, a trough of food in front of one dude. And I looked at him and I said, "Did you order that?" He says, "Yeah, it's all for me." And he was joking. He's a big dude.
Okay.
But he says, "Yeah." I mean,
never know.
There was probably like, I don't know, 40 pounds of food or something, And they hoisted in front of him. And I started cracking wise with him. His name's Sam. And I start cracking wise with him. And I said, "Hey, party for one over here," something like that. So we're cracking wise. But anyway, it was a tray for everybody. He just happened to be sitting nearby. So he starts serving up everybody. And I start helping him serve everybody and putting food on plates and passing it out. And we're serving food out of this giant trough. There's plenty for everybody. Drinks and all this other business. So we're passing food out, and he goes, "Thanks for the help, man. By the way, I'm Sam." So I said, "Hey, I'm Blake. Here's business card," and throw him business card, and we talk. Jazzy puts his business card, and I said, "So what? So are you a partner too?" He says, "No. He says, "Man, I have a wrench." And I said, "Oh, you have a wrench?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm Twitch staff." And I went, "Oh, cool. What do you do at Twitch?" And he says, "Well, I'm in charge of kind of 3 things. 1, squad streaming. 2, watch parties."
Ooh.
Watch parties, which you know what watch parties are, right?
Yeah.
It's the movies, all right? And 3, I'm also in charge of there was one other. Oh, I'm gonna forget it. He was in charge of one other thing, and I'm spacing on it. And I went, "You're the guy!" And he says, "Yeah, I'm the guy." And so we start talking, and I start asking him about all this other good stuff, right? About what's going on. So the number one thing is that he says, "So what do you think about squad streaming?" I said, "It's great. It lets us not get out to multi Twitch or multi view, right? The multi stream IO. We can do it on platform. It's great." I said, "It's just and Jazzy chimes in and she finishes my sentence. She says, "It's the same. It's a shame that you can't do affiliates also." And he says, "Yeah, that's a big problem." And he said, if you look at squad streaming, I was explaining this to JD today. If you look at squad streaming on the same screen as squad stream, one person is in 720p and another stream is in 480p, which means you both have to have quality options.
Yeah.
Right? Transcoding.
Yeah.
And right now, only partners are guaranteed transcoding. And he says, and transcoding costs money. It does. Every time we hand out transcoding, it is a cost center for Twitch. That's it. And he says there's no other reason why we don't blow it open and give it to everybody. He says,
that makes sense.
He says because it has to be because you're and then when you switch back, you swap the transcoding between the two, and you're going from one to the other, right? Because if you were in 720p, that means I'm small down on the side of the screen. I'm on 480, and you click the button to switch over to me, and then it swaps us. So that means everybody has to have quality options and transcoding because they're going to switch between modes very quickly, right? And we were talking, and he says, and I said, the other problem is when you switch between person number 1 and person number 2, then chat for person number 1 disappears. And he says, "Yeah. Well, I don't know why that is. Why do we do that?" And he says, "I don't know." And he says, "We're going to fix that." And so when I'm switching in Squad Stream, when I'm switching between the two, for some reason it clears chat. And he says, "That's bullcrap." And in fact, it should be one window, and maybe we put chat from number 1 in one color and chat from number 2 in another color. And just like Restream does it, you can switch between the two when you type in.
that's a problem me and the stream team have had when we've been doing some events where we've been streaming 3 or 4 or 5 at a time. And the problem is like all the chats are divided.
Yes.
First of all. So you're not quite sure what's going on. When you go into one, they disappear. And also the viewers only count for the one that's like on the big screen.
Yes.
So it kind of numbers fluctuate a lot, especially if you're doing like a sponsored stream of something.
Yes.
That can be really, really bad because suddenly, I mean, for the team, everybody gets the same.
Right.
So on the team, we have personally some sponsorships, kind of just spread them out.
Right. So yeah, I'm on stream
because it's you can control it.
Like, I'm on stream selling your sunglasses. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't get credit for this. I'm selling your sunglasses, right? So
yeah, it's part of the content.
Yeah. So what he was saying though, he says we can't really guarantee it every time. He was saying, so if we open up to affiliates, not every affiliate gets it, but he says every single year, transcoding gets easier, transcoding gets is less of a cost, and transcoding is becoming more and more offered. He says it used to be in the early days, 2015, when I started, transcoding was partners only, and then no affiliates didn't exist, partners only, and then if you had enough viewers, it would opt you in, which meant I had to start at a certain time every day, and if I missed it, I missed it, because as soon as I would start, I would get in before everybody else did, and everybody would hog my transcodes. But I could get them if I started at a certain time during the day. And
I remember that as well when I started. It was exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Sometimes just was good quality, everything was good, and viewers were like asking, "Hey, have you done something to the stream? It's much better."
It's much better, right? And it is a barrier to viewership if you don't have them. And thank goodness, since I really, it's been a while, even before I got partnered, but it's been a while since I even had to, I had to fight for them, to Hafala's point. But once I hit partner, it was, I just never had, it's one less thing to think about, right? I have a zillion things to think about. I have one less thing to worry about. I can just, it's done. It's a checkbox, done forever. I no longer have to do it, right?
Like that's kind of what I kind of like as a streamer. I kind of see it as getting to the affiliate point and to getting to partner and to becoming bigger or more content out there. I kind of see it as a staircase. You have to take more and more steps up the stair, but you will achieve more and more and more, and you'll have to do less because all those staircases behind you don't have to deal with anymore.
Right.
Like whether it's revenue or whether it's quality. And that affects mobile users and anyone on an iPad kind of thing, or just there's so many viewers you will just lose by not having good quality, not being able to put your content out in the best beautiful way that you can.
Right.
And it's a tough thing.
It's a big
it's
a barrier.
Rim worlds.
Yeah.
Like you need that quality to see certain elements. If you can't really see what's happening.
And RimWorld is, I mean, it's kind of lowish detail as it is. Like it's not a, it's not Overwatch,
pretty.
Right? It's not Overwatch.
It's
not Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead, right? In terms of what you're trying to show, and if you have resolution problems, it's going to be tough to get in there into that detail, right? So
exactly. Luckily, we're not on that anymore.
Yeah.
I remember a few. I think XLE had that problem as well in her early affiliate stage. No, XLE the Exile.
Yes.
Streamer.
Yes.
Yeah, she's pretty cool, pretty chill. She's a Swedish person, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Danish people don't like Swedish.
Give her a chance. Give her a chance.
She's actually pretty decent. But she had that problem as well. And at that point, I had almost just gotten partner status. So I felt with her. I knew that I could see the quality sometimes just dropping, and things were like, you couldn't have as high as a bit rate as well.
Yeah.
Like back then. So that ceiling has also just been increased, also for partners, that you would just have a wider bandwidth that you could just filter out things with.
Yep.
And it's great. Like my stream has never looked as good as it does now.
Right. So I'll take. So yeah, it's great. It's transcoding is a big deal, but that is the one barrier to squad streaming. Otherwise, and a few things to tweak with chat, but otherwise, we said squad streaming is awesome when we can include everybody. That's what we want to do, is include everybody. Sure. He said, well, and I said, well, what about if a partner invites you to a squad stream, then you can get transcoding, and the partner is the gatekeeper to it. And he said that would be so easily gamed because a partner could go, hey, I can get you transcodes anytime. Just hit me with that sub. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I would do it if I could guarantee, if all I had to do was join a squad stream and then get back out, that would be worth $5 for me a month. If I was an affiliate on the bubble, right, looking to make a run at partner.
That's a huge just extra step just to take for pretty much no value.
Right, right. I mean,
like that's a great deal.
It's a great deal, right? I would pay $5. Would you? Okay, so would you pay if you were sitting there and you were struggling? Maybe you're getting 30 viewers and you were on the bubble. You got transcoding. You had no transcodes more often than you had transcodes, and you're saying, "How can I deal with this problem?" Would you pay $5 a month for it? Absolutely. I would
pay Twitch for it if they had an option.
Yeah, I would pay straight to Twitch for it.
Affiliate turbo or something.
Right.
Like.
So what he said was that could so easily be gamed because now the gate is not Twitch, the gate is a partner, right?
Yeah.
To be doing it. And he said that could be so easily gamed. And it would be very, very hard for us to gatekeep that. Because imagine we would have to be judge, jury, and executioner of what was a good case and what was a bad one. And maybe he had a contest going, the partner had a contest going on, something, right?
Yeah.
So he just said,
yeah, that's understandable enough.
Yeah, it's understandable. And I said, yeah, I get that. So he says, now the long term, he said he wanted to, we create systems that are absolutely, that cannot be gamed and cannot be turned into something crazy, right? I said, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So the second thing that he ran into, then we started talking about watch parties. And he says, hey, what do you think about watch parties? So you know what the watch party is, right?
Yep. Yeah, so, I heard of it.
So a watch party is something you could have signed up for, I think, because I volunteer for everything at Twitch, and I think I'm on the inside list now because I get a bunch of stuff now.
Yeah, we don't get that in Denmark.
Right. So I got some insight for you. So what it said was watch party is where you can essentially, for users, for your viewers, you can hit a button and play a movie on your stream. And the movie could be available through the Twitch engine, which really is hooked into Amazon Prime. And you would select a movie, but nothing else on the screen may appear. So like you couldn't put your logo up, you couldn't put your likeness of it. Like I couldn't put my camera on there or my mic or anything. It was just the movie, right? And no audio. You could not talk over the movie. So no video.
Wait, not even pause it? And then
no
switch,
audio.
like...
No audio. Because it was a start in a watch party mode, and it locks you out of all visual and all that sort of stuff.
Oh.
So it's only chat. You start a movie, and it's just chat. That's it.
I kind of hoped it would be a bit more. I think Curiosity Stream have that, where you could pause it. I don't think you were allowed to have like your camera on, but you could pause it, you could talk during it.
Yes.
Like, you could cut it into segments and just like, okay, we're going to watch 15 minutes or a series, 20 minutes of something. And then like talk and...
Yes. And to your point, not every country can participate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So our feedback to him was watch parties are kind of dumb. There's nothing redeeming. I wouldn't do it. And Jazzy, I said I don't do watch parties. If I could be on screen, we could do. I would love to go run old bad movies and do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 on them with my viewers. Right. That's what I would love to do. We go crack wise and we laugh together. We do that. But I would be in the corner where I am with my Factorio stuff. I'd be in the corner and we'd watch a movie. Right. That's what I would
interact with it as well. That's fun. Like
yeah, or I'd dress up.
I remember this from back then. Or that's really fun. Or this.
Correct.
You can make a show
we do all
out
kinds
of
of stuff
instead of just going to Netflix and watching a show anyway.
Right. And it would have to be so not available in every country, which he says we're probably not going to get around that one because if we're geared through Prime, if Prime is our primary mode of delivering a movie, it is set up for restriction in country A and restriction in country B already. And that is copyright. That's law that we're not going to get around, right?
Yeah.
Also, he
like,
says
that's Twitch Prime in Denmark, like Prime Video as well, but like
right, not
the
everything.
library we have of stuff is not as big.
Correct.
Can't really do the same things.
Right. So yeah, if I go over to if I go over to Amsterdam or something, and I go into Amazon Prime and I want to play like a baseball movie, Major League, and it would say, sorry, not available in Netherlands. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Because it's just country restriction. And that he says we can't really get around that because that's international law and there's stuff around. Every company has to obey that. So you're already going to be restricted down to a one gate is country that the movie can broadcast in. The other gate that we're not going to get around is copyright. Like we can't provide a movie to someone who has not bought or rented or has a way to stream the movie already. So your viewers will likely all need to also be Prime viewers. Sorry, that's copyright. Because otherwise, they're getting a movie for free that they did not have to pay for. They didn't pony up the cash for, right? And that's copyright violation. That's really what it is. Whether that's true in a bar, right? If a bar plays just goes off and plays a Star Wars movie that they got on a Blu-ray. They paid $10 for the Blu-ray, and they say we're gonna have Star Wars movie night, and then they sell booze and nachos to their viewers because based on the pull of that Star Wars movie or a UFC fight, same thing. That's a big deal with the UFC. UFC bars do this all the time. You know the MMA. Yeah. They'll pay the $60 for the MMA, and then they go make thousands of dollars off of UFC night off of it. You can't do that. You got to pay the business and based on the capacity of your bar, and then you can sell and make. And the UFC makes their money. That's how those pay-per-views make most of their money. is businesses. And if you do that, Badger used to work as a private detective, and his job was to go to a bar that they thought was broadcasting the UFC and write down and take pictures and leave in 10 minutes. And then they would go in and sue them and bust them. Yes, that was Badger's job.
Oh.
Yep.
Undercover and everything.
Yeah, because it's copywritten, right? You can't just. I mean, it would be like, look, I'm going to go get the UFC, and I'm using the UFC's likeness and content for my own profit to sell beer. Right?
Yeah, that's not okay.
It's not okay, right? It's copyright violation. So to bring that back to movies, they have to have already paid the money for Prime. That's it.
Yeah.
So Prime is your number one. So if they're not Prime and they're not in the right country, sorry, you're out. And then the third barrier that he was fighting that is doable, he was saying that when they, do you have Amazon Prime? Do you have Prime?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So when you do Prime Video, you can pause it and you see X-ray vision, right? And you see the actors in the scene and all of that. What he was saying was, when we first debuted X-ray to movie studios, to Paramount and to Miramax and all those guys, and to Universal, they did not want it. They said, "Don't put anything on my movie. You are not allowed to put anything other than my movie on the screen. Do not touch it." Right? Finally, one company said, "You can do it on my movies." And they did it. And then all the other movie companies went, "Oh, I want that. How quickly can you get that on my movie?" Because what it does is it leads to more interest in the movie, right? If I pull up the Avengers, if I'm streaming the Avengers and I pause it and I say, look at this Thor. He's pretty handsome. I want to see him in more movies. And I click it, and I can immediately see all the movies he's cast in, which is more of their studios, which probably owns his contract anyway. And they went...
It feels more interactivity. Like just viewers having the ability to see who they are.
Yes.
Get some affliction for their favorites.
Yes. And until they saw it, they were paranoid about having anything on the screen, whether audio or video. Do not put anything on our movie. You're not allowed to edit our movie in any way and affect the visual experience until they saw it. And then they went, let's do it, right? So he says it's not a matter of we don't want to. We would absolutely love to open up watch parties for everybody, but those two gates are not going to happen. And the companies where we have the movies, they are paranoid about having any likeness on their movie. And what it's going to take is one person to do it and have a really big deal on Twitch, and then everybody's going to want it. Now, fast forward to Friday. I'm gonna read you.
far?
I'm gonna read you an email. Hello, Clowntown. Last October, we invited a group of creators, including you, to try an early version of Watch Parties with a limited set of features and give us feedback on the experience. Today, we're releasing Watch Parties. It incorporates some of the most requested changes. Number 1, be seen and heard. We've added picture-in-picture format above chat so your audience can see and hear you and react to every funny, scary, or sensible moment. Be seen and heard.
Nice.
Boom, and boom, and boom. It's now a thing.
Like that's just needed.
That's just
that
needed.
is needed. That's
So
what
I'm not
makes
going to
the
be
content.
over the video, but I'm going to be in a picture-in-picture on chat where the ad is, right, up above chat. So I'll be in there and we can watch it, right? Bam. That's
Awesome.
it. Note, you must go live in your streaming software before starting a watch party from your stream manager in the creator dashboard so you can do it. Now, here's another one. The other thing that was in the previous version of watch parties, you can't be searched up. There's no notification that goes live. They wouldn't see you live. You have to kind of arrange it in advance. Viewer discovery on Twitch. We know it can be difficult for your community to join your watch party if they can't see you when it's live. So when I would do a watch party, and I would go to twitch.tv, and in my followers list, if you did a watch party, I follow you, you would not be in my follower party even though you were live with a watch party. I wouldn't be able to join in and go find you. Find it.
Really?
Yes, you don't show us live when you're on a watch party.
But that defeats the whole purpose.
What?
Of,
Right.
streaming it. That doesn't make sense. What?
Now, new version 2.0. Now, when you start a watch party, it can be discovered in your following. How about that? And in search, and in a new watch party specific category. It's got its own category for watch parties. All right. Now,
Nice.
The other thing that was disabled: subscriptions and bits. Off. You can't subscribe and you can't throw bits while the movie's on.
But what if they don't pop up?
Version 2. Your viewers can now show their support by subscribing or cheering during the watch party.
Nice.
Look how crappy the first version of this was, and we've said that. And to his point, the guy from staff said, "Look, it's bad because he said we have to release a crappy 1.0 to get it going, so that we can get to 2.0 where it's actually functional and worthwhile." He said, "So I felt bad releasing what was pretty crappy experience first off, but we had to get a step and you got to go step 1 before you get to step 2." He said, "So he said it was kind of in a rock and a hard place to get something good out there because it was no seen, no heard, limited viewers, you can't undiscoverability, no bits, no subs, and limited movie selections."
It's kind of like everything that's on Twitch you just don't have anymore.
Right.
Like kind of the first version was just like a concept, like, hey,
That's
we
right.
want to put movies on Twitch. How do we do this?
Right. Yes. And then all the things that you like about being on Twitch and hanging out in Twitch and hanging in Twitch chats, all that's gone. It's just movies.
And that's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just.
But so we
destroys the
didn't
purpose
understand
of
it either. Well, we Badger and I both got the email and we went wrong. And Jazzy tried it once and she said, "This sucks for everybody. I'm out. I'm never doing it again." Friday we got this email. And he was telling me there's stuff coming. There's good stuff coming. Now, and the last thing is more to watch. We heard you wanted to see more titles in horror, anime, comedy, action, sci-fi. So we've added new titles for all these, including Psych and Hunters and Star Trek and Survivor and some other things to do. Ready to give it a try? Click the link and let's do it. So
I would love to do that kind of stuff. Like I stream, I sleep, eat sometimes, and I watch movies and series. That's it. That's what I do. That's my thing.
Yeah.
So being able to incorporate that would be so good one day.
Yes. So I have a button. I have a new button on my dashboard now that is click here and start a watch party. So it's now on my. I guess I got to try it. So I'm in the beta. I early on in Twitch I said every cracked out thing you want to throw at us, I will try it. And I got on some list somewhere. So that came out Friday. So watch parties, man.
Nice.
So
what are you gonna watch first?
Probably I'm gonna find the dumbest movie ever And then probably what I would like to do is Badger and I would go live and we would crack wise over a dumb movie.
Nice.
That's it. I don't know how to sign up for
really fun.
I don't know. I signed up for a beta program. I got on the inside track for some stuff. I want to say in November when I got partnered, November 2018 when I got partnered. I think there was some email in there that I went to crazy. I went crazy on. I said, "Give me everything. I will do everything, everything."
You could try on Twitch Partners Discord.
Maybe
try there.
Maybe
to ask around.
You can submit a support ticket. Never hurt. Hey, can I be on the Watch Parties beta? Do I qualify in Germany to be on the Watch Party beta? They may. It might be only North America. Which
it's probably only North America and UK.
Yeah,
probably
because and the guy was telling me, he says, look, it's copyright law is the thing we are fighting the whole time. It's all copyright law and all country of broadcast. He says that is a barrier that we will probably never get over, because if the giant movie studios like Universal and Paramount can't get over it and Netflix can't get over it, then we're not going to get over it either.
I know. And it's the same thing with the bounty board. I don't know where you're from, Hap, but it's the same thing. Like, that's probably just also staying North America and UK and maybe Australia.
I'm on the bounty
board. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
I've done like 4 ads ever. What I would do is, one of them was for a Dollar Shave Club. It was for shaving and for face things. Oh. Right. And it was, I want to say,
like a sexy.
Yeah, it was for face. It was like it was a shave. It was a razor and some shaving cream and some face rub or something you put on your face, make it feel good. It's for dudes. And so I waited until I got a really big host. So it was actually my buddy Rain, or you say, see, you host me, all right? Okay, so I would be sitting there and I would have it ready. I would have it ready, because you have to have a certain number of concurrent viewers. It's usually, for some reason, it's 121 viewers you got to have, right? And then you can get your full payout. So I would wait until a good host. I would be hovering right around 90 or 100 or whatever I usually do with a speed run or something. And then what I would do is I'd wait for a host, and then as soon as I do it, I would go, evil trick. Bro, I am so glad you're here. I am so glad you're here. I have a question for you. Do you have a face? Because
I do. I actually do have a face.
If you have a face, then I've got a product for you. Hang out and listen, and then we would just go right into the ad, and I would do the thing. And
That's great. That's actually great.
And then I would give it just enough time for the viewer count to hit, and everybody do their raid thing, and then the viewer count would go pop after like 15 seconds, and then we go right into that, and I hit the button, and I get my 2 minutes. I'm over the mark. I made sure I'm over the mark, get the full payout. And I say, thank you very much for being part of my commercial. We are sponsored now by Dollar Shave Club. Appreciate your patronage. Go out and order today, dollarshaveclub.com. Make sure you click the link, Clowntown. And wow. So there you go.
Yes. Not bad. I've heard a lot of good things about the bounty board. Like, I heard that they have some really good things once in a while.
Yep.
Like, the viewer count can kind of be fluctuating.
Yes.
I've heard, like, some from a stream I've had only, like, 35 needed or 40, some of them like 250, and it's been a little bit back and forth, and payment being pretty decent.
Yeah. So, what it's worth. But I mean, it's 5 minutes worth of work, right? So
yeah, like it's
and
nothing.
You could
make it fun even.
Yeah. And I would always like that. I've made every one of them I did. I made them hilarious. And I'd make them so schmaltzy and just so like I was absolutely selling something, and I'd make it basically making fun of myself, right? So. Most of them, without getting too much specific, most of them have a lower limit and an upper limit, and say, okay, so my hypothetical example, because I'm under contract, you can't say exactly numbers, but you can say kind of how they work. Is so on one of them you may see, all right, the payout is $20. If you don't get over, if you get 121 or more, then you get all $20 for your time doing it. If you have only a minimum of 30 viewers, you have to have 30 viewers, and you get the minimum payout, which is $4. So there would be a range, and then they would scale it somewhere in there. So that's a hypothetical example, but of a one. But they tend to go in a range like that. Some of them are lower, some of them are higher. That's kind of a decent one where if you have some range. and they want to get dollars for their money. But if you don't have it someday, but you still want to do the ad, you can still get some percentage of the total bounty. And if you didn't average 30, then you were out of the money, right? If you just went live and you did 5 viewers, then you were out. So you had to. There was a minimum and a maximum.
So how could you see the statistics for that? Like, you feel like the software for tracking it was good? You have control over it?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm. That's why I waited for a big host to do them ever. And that way, I was just going to say, all right, I'm going to take myself out of that equation. I don't want to get into min-max. Yeah. I would only take bounties that I could reasonably hit. So if I was around 100 and the max was 120 or 100, or 105 or whatever it is. If I was near the max, then I would take that bounty. There's other maximums that are 200 and 300 and 400, whatever, that I'm not going to take because I wouldn't hit them. Or that sometimes the minimum would be 100, but it's always based on some sort of viewer. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the payouts wildly vary. They could be. There was I've seen them as low as $2 but it's for a minute of play this trailer.
Okay.
Play this trailer for $2 or something like that. Or play this trailer for $9.
That's fair enough.
Oh,
I mean, it might interest you anyway.
Right.
So like, hey, I know there's this new trailer.
Right.
Let's just go watch it. It's sponsored, but
and that was it. Sometimes it's just play a trailer. Sometimes it is. You have a long ass list of stuff to talk and talking points and all of that sort of stuff. Like the Dollar Shave Club one I do. I went into some detail. I put in extra for that one, but that one had some talking points. That was probably a year and a half ago when I did that one. That was probably a year and a half ago. They've changed a bunch since I'm doing them, so I may not even remember the right one from Dollar Shave Club. But that was one that my audience remembers a bunch because they bring it up every once in a while. But do you have any razors to sell us today, clown? What are you doing?
Yeah, it kind of sticks with you. If you do something weird or stupid on stream,
and
people like it and people remember it.
Completely non sequitur because I'm playing Factorio and then I suddenly go, "Do you have a face?" Right.
It's kind of stuff like that. Like Badger has his own personality and we all have our own personalities. Like having that special or weird or good or just different thing, just doing something different, suddenly bursting out in something.
Do you have a face? Yeah.
Do you have a face?
Yeah. Right.
Like just suddenly doing something weird.
Yeah. So a lot of the details they don't want you to tell a lot of the details of specific contracts, but you can kind of say generally here's the mechanics of it. And they've changed so much since I did those back in the day. So that model that I've presented to you is maybe outdated already. So anyway,
it's probably got more like refined by now, I'd assume.
Yes, I would assume.
A little better.
So yeah, but the bounty boards is a way for Twitch to get in between you. Another way to get in between you and the advertiser and get a little more money. Twitch wants to be the middleman for everything. They're the middleman between you and your audience. For the broadcaster, the middleman between you and the money, which they could have gone through PayPal, but they want bits. So bits is their middleman. You and the subscription and your permissions. You and they want to get in between you and your audience with your watch party. They want to sell some Prime to you, right? And another one is the bounty boards. They want to get in between you and an advertiser. They want a cut of that money. That's how Twitch keeps going.
How did it work with your bounty board? If you were above the maximum viewers, you wouldn't get anything? Not even the maximum payout?
Oh, you get the maximum. I mean...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get the maximum.
I thought if you were way above, you just wouldn't get anything.
No. They always said to get the full payout, you need X amount of viewers. So if you were over that, you were fine. And then to get the minimum payout, they give you a lower limit, and you say if you're under that, you get nothing. But otherwise, you can... If I had 1,000 viewers, I would still get the whatever the same I got for 100 viewers or whatever it is.
Okay, that makes sense. That sounds very legit.
Yeah.
Because I tried, I think Noise GG had a booth at TwitchCon. I'm not sure if they had one this year, but they had one last year. And they kind of do the same. It's kind of like Bounty Board. Like that was also the year Bounty Board was like announced.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like I tried that out because obviously I don't have Bounty Board over here in the EU.
Yep.
And that is scary to use.
Yeah.
I know others have used it as well, and some people have had no problem. Some people never see the payout. Some people haven't had their streams tracked correctly.
Yes.
And if you do like a 4-hour, 6-hour segment of a game, you would normally never do, but the payout is just something you need or something like that.
Right.
And you just don't see it go through at all.
Right.
That would scare me away from ever using something like that.
Yeah,
but,
a lot of them.
Twitch is at least stable with that.
Yeah, a lot of them are. Some of them are console only, so you had to do a thing. Do you have a face? Some of them are sports related. Some of them are. Some of them, Dollar Shave Club was the one I did. Let me see. Dollar Shave Club was it was over a year ago when I did Dollar Shave Club, and I did two Dollar Shave Clubs. How about that? It said completed,
really?
and I got the maximum payout. I guess. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. So there you go.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. No, and don't, and they have, and Twitch also has their own rules about how to do it correctly. They give you talking. You have to obey the Twitch rules for doing a bounty board, because what you probably don't want to have happen is an advertiser that comes in and says, I'm paying out. Okay, so Dollar Shave Club comes in and says, okay, I'm gonna pay Clown to do this ad, but then Clown goes on. He has 200 viewers, but all he does is crap on Dollar Shave Club the whole time. Then they paid $20 to have somebody badmouth them, right? So you can't really do that. And there's some other things about, hey, no specifics. They don't want you to make fun of the talking points.
Stick to the talking points, and not try not to say anything negative about it.
Right.
Not maybe overly positive, but just like keep it. Keep it normal.
So there's some soft things you got to do, and there's some hard things you got to do. Like you have to have your VOD recordings on so they can go back and review it if they need to. And there's a signal that someone has to go review it and make a judgment call. Hey, he did make the viewers, and we're going to approve this. They're going to approve this thing. So it's not automated for sure. But yeah, there you go. So that's bounty boards. But that's about all I can say about it. The rest of it. They don't want you to talk specifics on any about how the rest of it works. But largely you can do it. They come in and then they leave, and advertisers, you'll see a couple of them come in every once in a while, like every week. A couple of them will trickle in, and then they'll leave. So you can only activate them for a certain amount of time. So you got to catch them when they come in. You do need to be active and looking at them. So to catch one of them. So, anyway. Yeah.
I'm currently doing a little bit of it's off Twitch though, but it's kind of the same thing with like bounty boards. There's so many. Like there's been a revolution.
Yes.
The last year of just sites that want to connect you as a streamer, any type of influencer, with just any type of product or thing or game. There's been so many sites that work just like bounty boards.
Yep.
But just more direct with whoever you want to, or wants to give you something, or wants to hire you to make a game. And a lot of it is kind of, it's not that transparent. You can't quite see how it works, or how those viewers get like counted. Like I did one thing where I did the stream and it showed that I had like 5 times the viewers than I did. And
Ding.
I didn't want to complain, but I let them know though that, hey, you probably should check this stream. If you're sure about the numbers, sure, but you should check out your system.
Yeah.
Just that segment.
Right.
Because it might be weird.
Yeah.
And that could go the other way as well.
Right.
And yeah.
Right. So yeah, and you want to let them know about errors both ways, because you don't want to just be the guy that says, hey, it's too low. But then keeps quiet when it's too high, right? You want to be
that's not good style.
Right?
I mean, it would be easy money, but it kind of gotta work both ways to really work when it's you and anything else, really.
Right. So, are you trapped in your home? How is Denmark going?
Well, when I'm looking outside the windows, it's well, it's, to be honest, it's been the same for me as ever. But Denmark is actually, I'm proud of Denmark.
Yeah.
At least this part of Denmark.
What are they doing well?
Because, well, first of all, actually, one specific thing. In the grocery stores, they've put out like lines on the floor, like saying keep distance. And kind of like on the freeways, you kind of have those like arrows.
Yes.
Like, distance, keep 2 arrows between you.
Yes.
And I was down getting some stuff earlier today, And people actually did that. It was like a turn-based FPS game or RPG where people were moving like around, waiting for the next person to go to the next arrow, and then you would go to the next arrow, and
they had footprints. They have footprints, right?
No, it was just like a red strip put on the ground, be like keep distance.
Keep distance. Then, okay.
Like 2 meters onwards, there'll be another line on the floor.
Yep.
And people would move around in these like boxes and not move around to the next box until like the next person was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of fun because looking at it was kind of like a mini game,
right?
Just moving around in a weird pattern.
Right.
And people did.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways. What you're describing is there's a couple things. There's social engineering, which is very specific social manipulation, but then you have some other things that are just social guidelines. I mean, think about what that cost: a strip of paint and a word, and people went, "Oh, okay, we will do this thing."
So you like pay attention to it, like danger. It's red.
Yes.
We have to do something.
Right. Yeah, and for a few strips of paint, right, or a label and a word, you had a social guideline. There's no law, right? A policeman wouldn't come in and fine you or arrest you for not doing it, right?
It would be a bit excessive, maybe.
Right? You couldn't really enforce it, right? You could, but it's just a very minimum social guideline. It's a guardrail saying,
indeed,
hey, at this time, minimum little cost, and we're just going to put up a little guardrail and say this is what we're going to do now. And then everyone goes, okay. And then in our heads, we have this little in our consciousness, we go, okay, I will agree to do such thing as a social contract with everybody else. Or I walk in and I see the first person doing it. Or, maybe there's 2 people in line and the first person ever has chosen, one person is at the counter doing his or her thing, right? Person number 2 goes up, oh, okay, all right, well, I'll scoot back here. And the line asked me to scoot back, then I'll scoot back. And then person number 3 comes up and sees person number 1 and 2 obeying this weird social contract, and they go, oh, okay, all right, I can do this.
It's a little bit monkey see, monkey do kind of thing. Like, then let's just copy that.
And then that's how it happens. And then on and towards infinity. So the whole day, that line never dies down, but we see a perpetual decision based on what other people are doing, based off of a cognitive decision that 1 or 2 people made at, say, 9 a.m. that day, started that line. The line never dispersed completely because they had business until closing time, and that a crowd of people were based kind of a little social contract based on a guideline. Isn't that great? It's cool.
It's really great. It's worked well. And I was really surprised by the fact that, first of all, they did that.
Yeah.
I've heard that they've done that in most of Denmark. And also having like cough nets in front of the employees. They didn't have it over here yet, but just like kind of like you're sitting at a bank with like the security thing, so you can't like have any physical contact with customers. Kind of the same thing. And it's cool to see them take initiative.
Yeah.
And then there's been very little hoarding, like very, very little.
Right.
I saw a woman a couple of days ago. She grabbed a package of toilet paper, and there was no one near her to see that because she very shadily turned her head around both sides, just looking when she took the first one. And I walked past her and just kind of kept my eyes on her just to see how this would go. Right? And around again, and then she took a second one, and she left with just two.
Okay.
You could see the decision there, like, wait, and there was plenty of toilet paper. Like, it's not a problem.
Is there going? Am I going to be?
Where?
Yes. Am I going to be socially judged for taking a second one? Right. Is this tall, handsome blonde dude gonna judge me for grabbing this second one? And what's gonna happen here? And you're just looking at her. You want to buy some?
It's been pretty great.
Yeah.
I mean, I got plenty of toilet paper. It's not an issue.
Not an issue, yeah.
But I've heard that some things, like in Copenhagen, in the major cities, of course, there's going to be some kind of like lack of certain elements. I mean, there will be the entire economy and a lot of stuff just kind of stopping.
Yeah.
But it's been good so far. Like, people are staying inside. People are mostly... It's really fun to see how this isolation has worked out. Because normally on like Sunday night, like actually right now, there's someone walking down on my street. Mm-hmm. And it's usually on a Sunday, dead. Like, no one. ever. Like
Really?
I live a little bit out there, and there's a lot of people awake still in their apartments. Like people are kind of getting into like my stream routine of being awake, and I like it.
Yeah.
Because suddenly I'm no longer like out of the system with working when everybody else is off their work. Everybody's always off work, and I'm working, so I get to see a little bit of more people than usual. Weirdly enough,
Right.
it's great.
Yeah, there hasn't really been a ton of it in my area either. There hasn't been anyone to go in, back up the truck, and go grab 12 packages of toilet paper anymore. They'll go in and they'll get one or two. There hasn't been a lot of fighting or anything over them. But this is the thing, is that we are increasingly a just-in-time economy, right? So what grocery stores used to do is they would get in 2 giant truckloads per month, and then whatever they sold out of. Now they get in 2 truckloads of just about everything, either per night or 2 big shipments per week or something, because they get a truck that has everything they need on it for the next 2 days, and that's it, right? So it's what they think they will sell, because they don't want to be sitting on a ton of toilet paper in the back that's never going to sell. They want to use that space, right? Just say, as an example. So when something like this happens and something from the store gets zapped out of their schedule, it takes a little bit to react to it. But across the board, it's not the supply of any of these things, because the pipeline is full, right? The pipeline's full. It is just, there is plenty of supply. It's just that 1 week ago, we were set up to be just in time, low inventory, only what you need for that day is what you're going to get, right? Mini shipments, very small batch sizes, etc. And now suddenly, when for some reason we choose toilet paper as the thing that we want to hoard, not soap, right? Not maybe hand sanitizer, but not
crucial stuff.
Toothpaste, something like that. Any of these things, right?
Varied amount of food. Some of it may be canned, so it lasts longer,
right?
Just in case.
Canned goods, bread, all of that sort of thing. None of that. For some reason, it's just toilet paper. That's it, right? And we go crazy for that. Well, then, and someone in my chat came in the other day and they said something brilliant. You ready for it? It was look, the only thing to do when someone starts hoarding in a society, the only logical thing to do is hoard. And that's true, right?
It is true.
If
you can't just wait for everything to get taken,
right,
and you're left with nothing.
You're left with nothing. Yeah, the only logical thing to do is to hoard. And so, and he says so, but all the business owners are going, all of the grocery stores, and it occasionally happens in the U.S. with gasoline. When a hurricane comes through, they think, they're not going to give you gasoline here, and they start hoarding gasoline, right? And the grocery stores will go, all right, shut up. We got toilet paper for years. It's just not on a truck to be at your store. Don't stop it. Like, look, buy on a predictable habit, and we will get you your toilet paper, no problem. And so whereas in all the rest of the world, it's a little more kind of government or systemic controlled. In America, it's very business cutthroat, right? There is. So when my example was when a shop is out of something in, say, France, they go, I don't know, we are out maybe next week, and maybe come back next week. That's my French accent. And they just let it happen. In America, when something is off the shelf and a business owner cannot sell his or her goods to a customer, it is a hateful thought. It is, whose ass do I have to kick to get some toilet paper on that shelf so we can sell? Because I want to be the one to sell there. I want to be the only one in there. I want to dominate the shelves. I want to be. I want to crush the competition, and I want to become. And if Northern is a brand of toilet paper, and Cottonelle These are warring factions. There's business wars going on. There's a system. They play legally within the bounds, but these guys are at war. They want to kill each other. They want to kill each other with business. And if Northern can make one extra trucking shipment to replace someone's regular toilet paper from Cottonelle and get a lifetime customer, they will do
lose that essentially.
They will do it,
like that.
And they will crush the competition, right? And to that end, so Hurricane Harvey came through in 2017, sometime in Houston, and Badger was caught up in that, and there was a gas shortage immediately, but it was because some of the areas were flooded; they couldn't get trucks in there. And at the time, my mother had my mother had worked for a long time for Chevron, who was a big oil company, global oil company. And she said, "Son," I asked her about the gas shortage. She said, "Son, you have no idea." She says, "Not only does Chevron have enough reserves to run the energy for the world for about 10 years, they can do it. They have energy reserves on reserves on reserves on reserves on reserves. They're going to be around for a long time." But she says, "I rubbed elbows, and I've been in high-level meetings with some of the most cutthroat, most devious, most smartest, powerful executives on planet Earth." And she said, "Look, if they thought that they could go all the way to hell and buy 10 cents worth of gasoline, they would do it if they thought they could sell it to you for 11 cents. She said, "You have no idea."
Kind of that's extreme compared to like.
She said these guys are race car drivers. They are absolutely ready to kill the competition, and they want to go 1,000,000 miles an hour. She says, "You have no idea. They'll make it happen. If they think they could sell it to you, it will get to you. That's it. Get out of their way. They'll make it happen." Yeah, business is business. They'll cut each other. They will kill each other, and that is exactly what's going on in the States. Is all the businesses are going, "Don't sweat it. We're gonna make our money, bro. We'll get you the toilet paper. Just chill. There's never a shortage. There's not a shortage of toilet paper. There's not a shortage of gasoline. There's not a shortage of anything. There's not a shortage of food. America has all the things. We will get what we need. That's it. And we'll crush everybody to get it done. Right. Right. So here's Coca-Cola. Yeah, and so Conan works for Coca-Cola, and he says they have deliveries based on a normal, predictable buy pattern. They don't have 50 drivers sitting around waiting to do it, water crisis to happen. But if a water crisis does happen, you better believe those Coca-Cola executives will go, "All right, who wants to get some overtime? Let's get some water moving. Let's go. Let's do it. There's people over here that need some Coca-Cola, and we have they're ready to pay $1.10 for it, and we've got it for 80 cents. Let's go. Let's get this done." And they will do it. They're hyper-capitalists. And so that's why why supply and demand rules in the U.S.
Yeah, I'm just looking up the regulations and rules for that in Denmark, and that's actually like really regulated.
Yes.
Under various like branches of what you're allowed to do and how much and how you're allowed to do it.
And here's Conan's point. Here's a microcosm. He's a driver for Coca-Cola, and he says they are making the drivers work crazy right now because there are business executives going,
"Yeah, they can pump out extra
let's do it.
Resources.
Let's crush these fools. Let's crush Pepsi. I hate Pepsi's been around for 150 years, and I'm sick of them. Let's crush them. Let's get them.
It makes sense.
Let's crush them. Let's crush Ozarka. Let's get everybody crushed. Let's do it."
Not like Factorio. Like you got all these things in Factorio, and you just need to use them.
Yeah.
You need to get everything in there. You get to get out the production line, the bus, and everything. Like, if you got the resources, I can really see it. Especially if I'm thinking like in game terms. Like you're playing a game.
Why is it sitting in a chest?
You got the production.
Why is it sitting in a chest?
You want to use it.
Let's do it.
You want to get more as fast as possible. Right. I can see that drive, but it's scary in like this kind of situation though.
Yeah. But here's the thing:
how is everything over there?
Is the U.S. business? The U.S. business is a pretty amazing, fantastic engine to serve people's needs. That's it. It serves their desires and serve their needs. Right. That's it. So in the dictatorships and things like that, in communist countries, socialist countries, the way a person gets ahead in life, the way they elevate their status, is to serve those in power. That's how they do it. In the U.S., in a capitalist society, the way to get ahead is to serve the people. Bezos, Amazon, Steve Jobs, he served me. Yep. I paid him, and the marker most of the times, corruption aside, there is always things with corruptions, but markers aside, the way that a marker for someone, Microsoft, Bill Gates, the way that a person gets ahead in life is they have served the people, and the people willingly pay for whatever they're serving. Now, for sure, insider trading goes on. For sure, cronyism of Good Old Boys Club. For sure, I'm going to promote my son over someone else. Let's call it. It happens. It happens. It has a way of weeding it out. But number one way, the most profitable people on planet Earth are those who have served the masses. In the U.S. anyway, those have served the masses the best. That's it.
It makes sense. It's where your end product goes. You need someone to actually buy it, right?
Bing.
Like being on the inside track of the consumerism, like what people want, bringing them what they want.
Yep.
Like it's just like Netflix. Like that was insane when that came out. Or
yes.
Just even Facebook, even though it's not quite the same. Just getting that boom.
It met a need.
Every other company getting in there.
And here's the thing. I got no problem with Bezos having a cajillion dollars, because look what we're doing right now. We're on Amazon. I have not ordered clothes. I have not gone into a store for any of the clothing on my body in 2 years. I click a button on naked? I click a button on Amazon, or I go naked. That's it.
Okay.
Why would I? I've got I got my shirts and my jeans on reorder if I need them. I got socks and drawers. I got all those on reorder because I don't change sizes. I can hit a button and the magic genie can have them at my house. Why do I even need to leave?
Is everything in the US just like, if you have like a large or an extra large, something like that, would that always be exactly the same size?
By brand, no. By object, yes. By brand, it usually changes. So
because that's
if I
what I'm
buy,
kind of worried about with my clothes.
A sub refund. Conan, you bump that up to a tier 3 sub. I'll send you some Instagrams.
I was just about to say, capitalize, sell. They won't.
Okay.
I mean, I'm doing that. I'm like caressing my knee and kissing it in my intro and outro. So
yeah. Well, anyway, I hope you're doing cancel. Conan's my good buddy, and we've been playing together for a long time. Cancel.
Oh, nice.
All right. I'm gonna lose my voice. I've been broadcasting for I want to say 9 hours so far. So I need to wrap it up. So, Evil Trick, it's been a pleasure. Tell me what you got going on this week, and tell everybody where they can find you, etc.
Well, you can find me right here on Twitch. I think I got my name right down here. Else it's Evil Trick.
Evil Trick.
This month is going to be pretty interesting because it's going to be more RimWorlds. I've got some crazy runs going, and it's good. It's crazy. It is either 5 APM actions per minute or 2,000 multitasking, and it's good. It's really good. Check it out. If you don't know it, check it out. I'm doing speedruns. I'm doing all sort of other videos on YouTube as well, and you can find everything on my Twitch channel.
Yep, and there's
his coming up.
There's his Twitter, and there's his
10K follower goal stream is coming up soon as well, and it's some big stuff we're hitting soon.
Yeah,
and we're unlocking emotes like we never before, so it's good. If you're in for a good time, just enjoy isolation either with me or Blake.
Yep, there you go. There's his follower count. You were super close.
We're getting really close.
10K. You can do it. That's easy. You get that. You're awesome.
Get it.
All right. Well, there's the Evil Trick. There's his stuff in links in the chat. Go hit him with a follow. He's excellent, excellent streamer and an excellent dude. We were best buddies immediately as we met at TwitchCon. So good stuff. So hope you stay safe, and hope when you get it, it is mild, because I think everybody's going to get it. And hopefully the good news about all of this is I'll tell you what I've been telling everybody. It's no longer quarantine. It's now smooth out the curve, right? We don't because it is super contagious. We think that it's going to be 40 to 70% infection rate, which is a ton of people will get it. 80% of all cases are mild. You'll barely even feel sick, and you barely know you have it. Children
I have it right now.
Children, for the most part, are asymptomatic. which is really good news.
That's good.
They may be carriers because they're dirty and they're dumb. I know I have 2 children who are both dirty and dumb. They're filthy. And they will probably get it, but they're going to be carriers. But adults have the propensity to hit to be in that top 20% where it's either moderate or critical or fatal because it's a lung issue. And if you have a lung issue, breathing issues, you make sure you call your doctor immediately. But most people, if you are a healthy, breathing adult with no pre-existing conditions, you're going to be fine. The thing is, invisible carriers are not good news. Yeah, right. That's right. We're not trying to contain it because if we just did nothing, then everyone's going to get it all at once and overwhelm the hospitals. That's what's going on in Italy right now. Italy is hurting really bad, and so the normal 2.5% to 3% death rate for this virus is going up to 7% because they don't have enough hospital beds to treat everybody. They don't have ventilators, and they don't have hospital beds. So a death rate that could be 2% has now inflated because of the lack of medical care because they're overwhelmed. There's not enough hospital beds to treat everybody. So with perfect medical care, the death rate is 2.5% to 3%. If you don't have that, and doctors start having to choose between a severe case that is a 30-year-old and a severe case that's an 80-year-old, they're sending and what's happening in Italy right now is they're sending the 80-year-old home to die.
It's rough. There's nothing else to do though.
And there's nothing else to do. If there's not enough room, there's not enough beds, an overwhelming healthcare system, doctors are having to make that choice. And doctors, by the way, they are paid to make that choice. They are paid for their judgment, right? And by the way, doctors do not want to make that decision. Whether doctors are motivated by helping people, they want to save everybody, or they're motivated by money. They want to charge billable hours to everybody. Either way, they want to treat everybody. They do not want to turn anybody away. They want to save. They're motivated most of the time by saving lives or making money. And that case where a 40-year-old is taken and a 80-year-old is turned away, they lost out on both cases. They do not want to make that choice. So the way to do this is not containment. It's to spread it out. And let everybody get it, but over a slow amount of time. That's why we're social distancing, right? So everyone's going to get it. You may have already had it and not known it. And here's the crazy part, is if we do a good job of social distancing, we won't know it. Because
I'm good at that.
Because the hospital business will have not changed. There will not have been any emergencies in the streets. There will not have been anything other than just slow down of everything and get away from everybody for a little while. And if we just gradually return to normal and everything is hunky-dory for the next time this happens, then we will have done our job if we have not known if we don't know what has if we don't see any difference, we will never know that we did a good job. It's gonna suck.
Would be good.
It's good,
but
right? There's not gonna be a touchdown line. It's gonna go okay. Then we were gonna look back and we go, well, we overreacted. Well, no, we didn't, because the downside is what's happening in Italy. Don't trust numbers from China. Yeah. I mean, sure, take them, but Donald Trump, don't trust China. China's an asshole. So the numbers from Italy are much more reliable. Also, don't trust numbers from Russia. They're swapping there's reports of doctors whistleblowing on the government. They're allegedly taking these COVID cases and reporting them as pneumonia cases, which is it makes their numbers look better. Yeah,
that's not too good.
It's not good. So Italy is our best case scenario, and they are in the world of, they're in hell right now because medical staff is overwhelmed, and they need to get everybody home and triage and all that, and it's overwhelmed system. So that is why every country has slowed, and that's why no one's overreacting. It's so that we don't end up like Italy. And Italy was carefree, completely carefree 3 short weeks ago. It was nothing. And they went from nothing to chaos and overwhelming the hospitals in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it really ties down to what I say also on a daily basis on the stream. It's just it's bad. It's not a good situation, but don't panic.
Don't panic.
Everything's gonna be all right.
I'm not here to scare you out of your wits.
Do what you normally would do.
I'm here to scare you into your wits.
Exactly. Just do what you normally would do. Just keep a solid distance, though.
Yep.
Stay logical in your way of doing things, and just be normal.
Yeah.
Just don't chill.
Worst thing you could do is
wash your
panic.
hands a lot.
Wash your hands. Don't panic. That's
like,
it.
If you start panicking, that makes other people panic, and suddenly you just end into a situation where everybody is on a panic.
Yeah.
And whether it's like could be a mass hoarding somewhere, and then suddenly spread better because there's so many more people and so much more interaction.
Right.
Like just keeping calm, steady, and just try to enjoy the being inside.
Yeah.
And just, it's tough for some people. It's really tough for some people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm personally doing good.
Yeah. Truthfully, I
miss
going out of the house more than I thought I would. I've been in the house for a week and a half now because I started early, and I kind of liked going out. I kind of like going to work every day. The two places I go for exercise is either the gym or jiu-jitsu, and I go wrestle people, and I can't do either of those right now. And so
you got 2 kids though. You can wrestle a bit.
They're punks though. They're punks. They're dumb. They're dumb and dirty. All right. So for me, normal week, I will probably take tomorrow off. I may do a little bit of YouTube business. I'll get my head around my work. I'm just looking at what all I have to do tomorrow for work. I've been making an effort on YouTube, and there's lots of good videos out there that we're gonna work on. So hit me up on YouTube. I will probably try and do a little bit of a speed run and maybe a biter battle exercise sometime tomorrow. Or the next day, so I can prepare. I'd like to get I kind of agreed today for a biter battle match against JD. I don't know if we wanted to do a one-on-one or a 2v2 or something, but he did say we need to do that. So I need to get on a biter battle because I'm getting peer pressure to do it. So maybe we'll do it. So Twitter, YouTube, all the other good stuff, and also follow my last deal is to follow my partner TVG Badger, which is now it's Twitch, and now I got to change it because all my shortcuts are gone. He put his link. Badger has the flu. He tested positive for flu. He got a test for COVID, but it is not in yet. The doctor says it's unlikely. He did on Saturday night. He apparently passed out, hit his head, and went into seizures because of high fever. And his brain is fine. Some would disagree. But medically, his brain is fine. But he does, and his fever is now down. He's doing much better. He's still coughing much, but he does have the flu. The doctor was not concerned about a double infection of flu and COVID. He says those cases are super rare. So he expects to be testing negative. It's just normal flu. Still, normal flu is bull crap. I got the flu 2 years ago, and it sucked. It was really the only time. It was really one of the few times I ever took off streaming because I was sick. I think I did miss a day or maybe 2 days of flu-related sickness. That was the only time I ever took off stream. Most of the time when I'm streaming, or most of the time when I'm sick, I'm right here in this chair. Let's play video games and pass the time together. That's what I do.
Well, I can't do that when I got the flu. I'm out of days. Like I'm just in like birth position in my bed and just like.
Let's
not
go.
Moving.
Do you want to be a streamer? You want 10,000 followers? You want to knock out the guy behind you? Shoot, I might be the one behind you. I got like 8,900 followers. I might be on your heels.
But if you got too close, I'll just turn on the cam while I'm in bed. Then I'll get a lot.
While Trick's in bed, I'm streaming. Why don't you come watch me? It's the American cutthroat. I'm just kidding. All right. Thank you very much for being here. Let's wrap up. We'll find somebody to host. By the way, this is what we tell everybody. We'll give Badger's normal sign-off. Let's see if Rain is still going. Nice. They're still going. Let's host Rain again. They're still going in this biter battle match. Ooh, he is still there.
I want to see that.
And they have some stuff. Yeah, let's go host them again. So I'm actually not going. I'm actually still going. They're 2.5 hours in, and they've got the big they got Behemoth Biter. So let's go over there and let's host him. All right. Thank you very much for being here. Stay motivated, because if you're motivated, you can do anything. Stay awesome because you're already awesome. And remember, do this. Stretch. Salute. Stretch. See ya.